Joey Porter, Joey Porter Lindsay. You pick. Today I'm going to talk about some guitars again. We had a discussion some time ago about talking about the different guitars that I use for my different setups in the studio. The reason I do this is because of the fact that for different projects, for me, I need a different guitar to give me a different attitude. Now, this is an acoustic guitar right here. Actually, it's an acoustic electric. This is a Martin Sigma electric, which I kind of like to use for. It kind of depends, you know. I like it because it's the versatility of it is because I can plug it up to my pedal boards if I need a different kind of delays and stuff like that. This is the best guitar to use if you want to have an acoustic sound. Well, of course, it's an acoustic guitar. It's got a pretty good natural tone. Maybe folks can hear that, but I kind of like that. Stays in tune pretty good too. For an acoustic guitar, it's not bad. I have Martin 11s on here, which is pretty good. They don't go out. You can do some funk stuff. Me being from New Orleans, or actually growing up in New Orleans, actually by way of San Francisco, California. Born in San Francisco, but grew up in New Orleans. Great music influence, a variety, a virtual plethora of variety and experience there, because people there play everything. You play rock, you play blues, you play jazz, you play rock and roll, play everything. Even with something like this, I can sit on. My rendition of a little New Orleans type of funk. Let's see. It's a hollow body guitar. It's kind of reminiscent of a Gibson ES-175, which I used to have, but I don't have anymore. If you notice, the 175 is a thick guitar, but this one is a little bit thinner. And anybody that knows anything about hollow body axes, like this one, knows that this size will feed back less than the 175. The sound is virtually the same. I mean, in some cases, it is the same. These are ACH1 Ibanez humbucking pickups. I play these guitars because, like I said before, they give me different attitudes. And every time I pick up one, I get a different attitude. I played a little bit something on the Leo there, which is the acoustic, and this one gives me a. This time, I have my Epiphone dot. This is actually a 96 dot that was made out in Korea. The plant is no longer open. Now, it says Gibson up here on the truss rod cover. That's because if you played one of these from that plant, you basically got a Gibson. You just didn't pay the Gibson money for it. Same kind of thing. There's even classic 57 humbucking pickups on this thing. And it's got a good sound too, just acoustically. Doesn't matter what you do to it. Now on this one, I use 10s. That's the gauge. I start with 10 on the E string. The last one I used had 11s on it. For a jazz box, if you want a deeper sound, then you got to use the heavier gauge strings, but you can't bend them the way you want to. But this is pretty good for me, for myself, for my playing. So this is my Epiphone Dot. It's a 1996 Dot from the Korean plant, which is no longer open. Okay, and it's a pretty good axe. I mean, I put it up against some that cost about 4 times what it does, and they didn't play any better. They didn't sound any better, and they didn't feel as they were built any better. So I'm pretty much satisfied with this one. Later on, I suppose I may be able to plug them up and do something. Okay, folks, this is my mini katana that I used to practice with. It's made by Boss. There's about 3 or 4 different versions of this thing. I got the little bitty one. Yeah, Tweety Bird. That's what I call it. Anyway, it's got a nice sound too for something so small. It gives me all of the tones that I can get out of this thing, out of my my Dot. But even in addition to that, still, it sounds pretty good. Okay, folks, even with that nice sound I was playing just now, pretty nasty too, you know. It's a good axe for rock. It's pretty versatile. This katana has what they call a brown sound. Now you wouldn't expect this to come out of this thing, but here we go. Check it out now. Not bad for an Epiphone, right? Okay. Okay. You're probably wondering what this is. This is, oh, it's got a Stratocaster. No, no, it's not a Stratocaster. It is a Stratocaster copy. It is a 1980s vintage Harmony H8OT. Check it out, man. Look at that. You might think it's just another copy, but it's pretty good. Listen to this thing. Listen to what it sounds like. Vintage, 1980s. Pretty good. As far as Stratocasters go, for me it sounds just as good as any of the rest of them. It's pretty dang good. makes your fingers turn blue. Okay, folks, here we go again. This time, I have my 1981 Gibson The V, Flying V. It says the V right there. Right at the top of the pig head. I don't know if you can see that, but it says it right there. It's got a sunburst finish on it. Most of them, you never see the sunburst finish, but this one has a sunburst finish, the V. And there's a bound top on it. These are Dirty Fingers humbucking pickups. I used to use this guitar for pretty much versatility, but I think rockers would like it better than just normal folks. Albert King had a V, but it had a different peg head. It had 3 and 3 like this one, but it was a square peg head. This is the classic Gibson shape he had. Now, this thing is pretty good, but like I said, it's better for me if I play rock on it. I mean, now I have some other things that are better for suited, but this. Demonstrate right quick. Let's give you a brown sound. This is what the thing is famous for. This is the brown sound. This is the mini, the little bitty one, and this is the sound of the Flying V. Go. Okay, this is my really rare 1977 Alembic small scale or small body guitar. It's not really a small scale; it's a small body. This body is the Series 1 Alembic. Guitars actually has low pass filters in it instead of tone controls. You know, I'm using the mono right now. There's 2 plugs in it instead of 1 like the rest of them have. There's a 5-pin switchcraft here, right? But I'm right now using a mono, which splits the electronics in half. This thing has a standby switch on it, and it also has an op amp in the back, which means you can drive the pickups. You can take a screwdriver and stick it in one of these holes and drive the pickups, make them hotter by turning them clockwise. It uses batteries, because it is powered by an 18-volt power supply, so that means it has to have 2 batteries, or the external 18-volt power supply, which you don't see. So there's batteries in it. The thing is pretty well made. It's beautiful. I've basically had it since it was brand new. Ordered from Alembic, 1977, and I've had it ever since. Now, sounds pretty good still. It's got some different things to it, but I can't get everything out of it that I want to right now because I'm only going to have half the electronics, but I did explain to you some of the things that are in it. The mother of pearl are real. The inlays are real. They're not plastic. And the fretboard itself is not either ebony or rosewood or maple. It's Purple Heart. When I use the switchcraft plug, this turns on both sets of electronics. You have 2 groups here. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. Which means One's a volume, one's a filter. And these two toggles are EQs. You have a low, a high, and a mid. But when you plug the switchcraft plug-in, which has 5 pins in it, it activates the second half of the electronics because the guitar itself is stereo. All the limits are not stereo, but this one is. And because it is stereo, you need the and an older one, you need the 18-volt power supply to go left and right out.
Wow.
One is treble, one is bass. You can use 2 amps simultaneously.
And what's on the other end of the switchcraft? What do you plug that in, your amp?
The other end is just a special cable that goes here that has 5 pins, and the switchcraft plug goes to an external power supply, which you plug into the wall. And the power supply goes into the amplifier. Okay. You have a left side, right side, which goes into 2 amps. If you use a Y cable, you can do that too, but you do need the 18-volt power supply to use both sides of the electronics if you're using a mono plug. But this thing has a different kind of unique sound. Low-pass filters work like this. In the down position, one of these switches is an EQ. Well, they're both EQs, but all the way down, you get the most bite. It sounds more like a wah-wah because it's a filter opening and closing. Let me design these guitars basically to sound like acoustic guitars, even though they are electric, which is why the tone is as pristine as it is. There's a versatility. As I said before, it would be even more versatile if I had the stereo cable hooked up, which goes to the 5-pin. But we don't have that right now, so we won't demo that. But the limbics, even the old ones, like this one, are pretty good. They're built very beautiful instrument, built very well. Through the body, neck, there's even no heel, virtually no heel there. See, nothing to get in your way. And everything is laminated together. A lot of people have tried to copy this design over the years, but this is from 1977. This design is from 1977. This is a Series 1, as I said. A Series 1 Olympic small scale guitar. I named this guitar the Lollipop, actually, about 35 years ago. The Olympic small scale, or small body rather, Series 1 stereo guitar, 1977. Okay, here we go again, folks, with a vintage 1980s Yamaha GX 110, or RGX 110 actually. Strat body, strat style, bolt on neck. Not a bad guitar. This one I actually rebuilt. I got it, wasn't working. Electronics weren't working, period. But now it sounds pretty good. I adjusted all the saddles on it and everything. Put a 40K trim pot in here. If you notice, it's only got one knob on it. So this pot, the way it's set up is It's basically like what something Eddie Van Halen would play, but it's not. We're not doing that kind of stuff with you. It's more the pretty kind of stuff. That's why the tremolo arm is for it. Because I play gospel music too, and so a lot of that music has things that you can make pretty stuff with. For instance, chords like this. Chords like the major 7 chord. Whoa. Turn myself off. Look at that. A lot of rockers like to use it to rock out with, but I don't do that with mine. This is more of a something as a subtlety, but it's a good collector guitar, and it's a good guitar for tracks to put some different things on it. If you keep your hands on it, it stays grounded pretty well. If you notice, when I take my hands off, you hear a little bit of hum. We're still playing through the katana, which is that little bitty mini amp sitting down there. So a lot of them have a similar tone to them. It's all the way. Stuff too, I guess. I said I like the pretty stuff, but if you put the brown sound on this one with the katana, then you have a pretty good rock sound too. It's not bad. I'll demonstrate with the brown sound. Not bad for a 1980s Yamaha RGX 110.